somewhere between myself and some other entity. Inside the lines, seems that I never get to what you expect. What do you expect? Yeah. What did you expect? What did you expect? Please, what you said. What are you made of? Are you still afraid of invincible? Need to know. Are you under control? What do you expect? What do you expect? Please, won't you stay?
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Horizon Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Lisa Casto. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm serving as your worship associate this morning. That's why I'm up here. I'm joined by our worship leader, Reverend Chris Rothbauer, whose pronouns are they, them, their. We really are excited to welcome you to our worship service this morning. We got off to a great start. We're glad to have you with us today, whether you're joining us in person or virtually, hello out there, whether you're here for the first time or whether you've been here for longer than you can remember. Here at Horizon, we welcome people of all faiths and of no faith in particular. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome with us. Please be our guest after the service for coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall, which is right out there. As a community, we also welcome the sharing of joys, sorrows, and concerns. You're welcome to fill out a joys and sorrows slip on the table near the Welcome Center, in the pockets of chairs, and on the joys and sorrows table right here in the front of the sanctuary. And/or you're welcome to come and light a candle. This can be done at any time before this service or in this service from the beginning through the offertory. As we prepare for our service this morning, I bet you can guess what I'm going to say.
Turn
Please take a moment to set your cell phone and other electronic devices to worship mode, which means quiet.
Our call to worship this morning is from Gretchen Haley. Give up this fight for some other moment, some other life than here and now. Give up the longing for some other world, the wishing for other choices to make, other songs to sing, other bodies, other ages, other countries, other stakes. Purge the past, forgive the future, for each came too soon. Surrender only to this life, this day, this hour, not because it does not constantly break your heart, but because it also beckons with beauty, startles with delight, if only we keep waking up. This is the gift we have been given, these body clothes, this heartbreak, this pulse, this breath, this light, these friends, this hope. Here we remember ourselves, all a part of it all, giving thanks together. Come, let us worship.
My shadow is casted on the wall, and I will never, 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 never be alone. Broke my back, that don't make sense. No going back, never breaking in. Yes, it's time. Why don't you give it a try? Don't you give it a try? My halo just keeps on falling off. Winding up a well, don't look back, I'm never breaking in. Thank you.
Our chalice lighting this morning is from Paul Stephan Dodenhoff. For this 1 hour, Spirit of life, we let go. For this 1 hour, may we let go of our anxieties, our fears, our anger, our self-doubts, our regrets, our petty grievances, and our distractions. If only for this 1 hour, let the flames of the chalice burn them from our hearts and minds and light our way to peace and serenity for this 1 hour. Please join me in our affirmation, which is printed on the back of your order of service and projected on the screen. Love is the doctrine of our church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in harmony with the earth. Thus do we covenant together. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, hymn number 354 in the gray hymnal. We laugh, we cry.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us and we feel a special glow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a time to be together. And with the grace of age, we share the wonder of youth. And we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die, and when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on and on. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer.
There we go. So today, I know you heard that the preschool is going to be talking about fathers, or fathers who are just like fathers to you. But here in worship, we're talking about the here and now. And I have a book for you today called Here and Now, which I really, really love. The author is Julia Denos,
and the illustrator is by E.B. Goodale. Here and now. Right here, right now, you are reading this book. The book is in your lap, or in your hands, or in someone else's. You are sitting, or you are standing, or you are wrapped up in a bed. And I love how the book is in the protagonist's hands in this, and I love the sleeping dog, but these are great pictures. Under your bum, under your feet, in a seat is a floor. Or a cloud if you're on an airplane. And under all of those things is the earth, the grass and the dirt, and earthworms and fossils, the rocks. And the earth is spinning in the middle of space. We don't know why, but it is. And you are too. Right here, right now, while you are reading this book, many, many things are happening. Rain is forming in the belly of a cloud. An ant has finished its home on the other side of the planet, and I love how it's upside down. Did you notice that? Somewhere, a telephone is ringing. An idea is blooming. Grass is pushing up through cement. A friend you haven't met yet is sitting down to dinner. There are animals, wild ones, and tame, living and breathing all around you. It's going to pause there for a minute. It's a beautiful picture. Muscles are growing, cities are growing. If you look up to the top, babies are growing. Cuts and broken bones are sewing up and healing. Unseen work is being done. Right here, right now, you are becoming. Isn't it wonderful? And there's an author's note here in the back. This book grew from a poem I'd written called In the Moment as part of my meditation practice. But instead of using the traditional in and out breathing, I used words and page turns to help ground readers in their moment. In that way, the book is a real-time meditation. Meditation is just another way of noticing, and noticing a little bit is like magic. It brings us just as we are into the present moment, just as it is. This freedom is a place I call here and now. It is a land well known by young children and plants and animals. It is a place where peace and possibility root, a place where we feel connected to the greater unfolding story. Sometimes when our minds and bodies are busy, we forget how to get back. But all we need to do is to return again, is to notice the world around us. We don't need to sit down or stop what we are doing. We don't need to close our eyes. We need to open our senses wide instead. Right here, right now, you are done reading this book, but the story hasn't ended. Like this moment, you are full of every possibility. What will your story be as it grows right from this spot, right where you are? Well, thank you so much to listening to my welcome to new parents and to this story. And I would like to go ahead and I will lead the children out if we go ahead and sing them up.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It is much a ritual as singing together, lighting our chalice, reciting our unison affirmation. It is a reminder of the form of love that we call generosity. It is how we show that we believe it is important to worship together, to help our community, and to say yes to the values of this faith. Thank you to our members and friends who give and pledge electronically. If you would like to give electronically, you may do so on the Breeze app or online at horizonuu.org/donate. The offering will now be joyfully given and received. Thank you for your generosity. Chores by Shirey. Wake up and roll out of bed, hug the husband, start the coffee, make the bed, water the garden, empty the dishwasher, take out the trash, scrabble together some lunch, morning chores, mundane, monotonous, the ordinary stuff of our ordinary days. Necessary jobs, using up, wasting our precious time. The boring byproducts of being alive on this earth. But today, in the heavy, humid morning air, I slowed down and paid attention to what I was doing. And in this slowing and in this paying attention, each act felt like a gift, a precious reminder of my aliveness, each daily chore imbued with a sense of the holy. I enjoyed the scrub of a beard on my husband's chin, inhaled the rich smell of ground coffee, pondered the gift of a soft bed, stood in amazement at the abundance of our garden, appreciated the clean dishes, applauded our trash collectors, and praised God we had food enough for lunch. Amen. Today, my morning chores were church.
When I was younger, I had a lot of regrets. And I feel like it's not so uncommon when you grew up a closeted queer kid in the 90s in an evangelical church. But I was very envious of people who had different life experiences from me. There was a lot I regretted, and in many ways I felt like I'd wasted my childhood trying so hard to be something that I was never going to succeed at imitating. The scripts for what I thought my life would be were falling down fast. The white picket fences and wife and children in suburbia, and there wasn't a whole lot to take their place. The thought of what might have been consumed me. What if I hadn't dropped out of high school? What if I'd realized earlier what my feelings meant? What if I hadn't been so concerned about being what I thought everyone else wanted me to be? What if I'd done more of the things that gave me life, that gave me a reason to live? What if I'd been raised in a different context or a different religion or a more accepting place? Would my life have been different? It got to the point where I was depressed damn near all the time because of what might have been. And it didn't help that I was unhappy with the life I was then leading, working a dead-end retail job where I was treated poorly and not valued as an employee or a person. I didn't have a whole lot of time to socialize with the friends who were still around, and I often felt like I was drifting and alone, like there wasn't a whole lot for me in this world, and I'd blown my only chance at life and happiness, and it felt like my life was already over. If my life had been over, I wouldn't be standing here, though, would I? Amen. Of course it wasn't over. Not by any means, but I feel like the younger you are often, the more you feel like every catastrophe is the end of life. It's not that it didn't hurt, not by any stretch of the imaginations, but I've done things today that I couldn't even have dreamed of when I was that sad young adult feeling sorry for themselves. I can't tell you exactly when things shifted, but I do remember first discovering Eastern religions like Buddhism and Taoism in my mid-20s and being fascinated. Here was the answer, I thought, just learning to accept what is present, no matter how bad it may seem, and just forget about the past. I was sure if I could just master this Enlightenment thing, all my other problems would fall away. Now here's the thing. I was doing what many Westerners do when they first encounter Eastern ideas about living in the present, about living in harmony with the Tao or in a Zen state or in mindfulness. I projected my own Western biases onto them. The past was bad, the present was good, and let's not even talk about the future, because I couldn't imagine much of one where I'd have any real lasting happiness anyway. If I could only plug into the present, all of my problems would melt away and I would be free. I wasn't exactly wrong, but I was wrong about what it meant to live in the now, because I was too busy singing that old hippie anthem. You know the one, Sha na 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 na, live for today. Here's what I've come to realize over the years. Living in the now isn't about thinking the present is any better or worse than the past or the future. In fact, it could be the present is worse than the past or the future. But it's about living in the circumstances we find ourselves in and accepting that whether we like it or not, this is our current reality. But here's the thing, that's not where we're called to stop. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, "We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation," he said, "does not liberate, it oppresses." I was repressing my past and my regrets of it, and by doing this, paradoxically, I was making it harder for me to change the present, much less create a better future. That's because the past still echoes through the present. That's why even if you commit murder, if you're not caught for 40 years, they still prosecute you. You don't get an okay, that was decades ago. Just so, there are so many traumas and broken relationships in my past that continue to affect the trajectory of the life, to exist in the present. Because even if I think it's only in my head, it's in my head at the present. Living in the now means accepting that those traumas are a part of me. It doesn't mean that they must be my destiny, because the power to choose is also a part of living in the now. In every single moment, I must make choices about what I will do, and even the decision to do nothing is still a choice, one that can have drastic consequences if it's not taken with the gravity it deserves. These choices are also a part of the now, and accepting that I must decide from a finite set of possibilities means that the now is what creates the future. But I don't think that's exactly right either. Over the years, I've come to believe that what the Eastern religionists are saying isn't that the past and the future don't exist, but that their separateness from the present is an illusion. Alan Watts once said, "You can learn to recognize that you're always in the present even when you plan ahead." What happened in the past and the possibilities of the future are all wrapped up in what is happening right now. Or as Albert Einstein once put it, life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. My task is to figure out how to live into the past in a way that honors the totality of the now. I am convinced that the true problem with living in the now isn't the regrets of the past or worries about the future. It's that so many people never learned what it means to live in the present to begin with. But what would it mean to live faithfully in the now, to inhabit this present moment that includes my past and my future? Would you please join me for the Doxology? You'll find the words projected behind me.
Let peace, goodwill, honor
now take time to honor the sorrows and joys of this community, knowing that we are all interconnected and that what affects one affects us all. Wishing all dads a happy Father's Day this morning. A joy-filling thankful for the rain. Sandy Still shared so proud of all the Horizon members and visitors that participated in the protests across North Texas yesterday. Joe Cronky shares, it was a joy to meet and get to know Katie and Joseph Savage and their wonderful kiddos. We wish them luck on their journey. And Clay Cronky shares, it's grateful that Joe came through her surgery without complications and is recovering well. Warren shares that his longtime friend and business partner Rick Herrera is facing heart surgery this week. I ask for prayers for him and his family. And there were several sorrows about the assassinations in Minnesota of Representatives Melissa Hartman and John Huffman. As one of the sorrows shares, extreme sadness, I have no words. And we light a candle this morning to honor all the joys and sorrows which have gone unspoken and reside only in our hearts. Will you please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation in whatever way feels right with these words from Beckett Coppola? It will be followed by a moment of silence, which will be broken by our responsive hymn, number 184 in the gray hymnal, Be Ye Lamps Unto Yourselves. Let go of the idea that you know what breathing should feel like. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Let go of certainty. Be with the breath as it is. Allow openness. Allow curiosity. Notice the mind, each thought that arises. Allow openness. Don't judge your mind or your experience. Be loving in your curiosity about each thought. Let go of certainty. Let go of any idea about what you should be thinking, accepting your thoughts exactly as they are. Be with yourself as you are. Be curious about who you are. Love how you are in the world. Gently take a breath, maybe even a big sigh. Re-enter the present moment and the stream of your life. Blessed be.
Be ye lamps unto yourselves, be your own confidence, hold to the truth within yourselves, as to the only lamp.
A reading, Forget About Enlightenment by John Welwood. Forget about enlightenment. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing in your veins. Feel the love, the longing, the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now. Not who you would like to be, not the saint you're striving to become, but the being right here before you, inside you, around you. All of you is holy. You are already more and less. You're already more and less than whatever you can know. Breathe out, touch in, let go.
You can't tell me to feel. Truth never set me free, so I did it myself. You can't be too careful anymore when all that is waiting for you won't come any closer. You've got to reach a little Open your eyes like I open mine. It's only the real world. A life you will never know. Shifting your weight to throw off the pain. Well, you can't ignore it, but only for so long. You look like I did. You resist me just like this. You can't tell me to heal, and it hurts remembering how it felt to shut down. Can't be too careful anymore when all that is waiting for you won't come any closer. You've got to reach a little The truth never set me free. The truth never set me free, so I'll do it myself. You can't be too careful anymore when all that is waiting for you won't come any closer. You've got to reach out. Can't be too careful anymore when all that is waiting for you won't come any closer. You've got to reach out
So I've spoken before about how so many people come to disciplines like prayer and meditation with the attitude that they need to make their minds go completely blank. And to the credit of many of you, after I preached those sermons before, I've heard you correcting other people. No, if you notice the thoughts, you're doing it right. But this leads many beginners to try to suppress whatever is there, hoping that this will bring them into a state of thoughtlessness. I know I originally came to spiritual practice in this way, believing the goal was to empty myself of all thoughts and emotions that were present in me for every waking moment. But the more I tried to do this, the more frustrating it became. And to be fair, some religions do teach that a state of thoughtlessness is possible. In particular, some schools of Zen teach a method known as Shinkantaza, where the practitioner literally meditates on nothingness, only stopping to acknowledge if a thought enters their mind. But here's the catch. Number one, they don't teach this as a beginner's method to meditation. Most people only come to Shinkantaza after years or even decades of practicing breath meditation. And number two, it doesn't teach that your thoughts will just go away. In fact, it just goes to highlight when thoughts do come up. It's not so much emptying the mind as much as acknowledging when emptiness is present. When I tried practicing it, what I missed is that Shinkantaza is made possible because people have gotten good at being in the present, even when they don't like what is there. The true method of spiritual practice, of so much spiritual practice, is simply to teach us to be present in the now to whatever is happening around us. As I sit on the pillow and meditate or pray, I am not seeking to deny the reality of what is happening both around and within me. I don't retreat from all that's happening in the world or the bad news. I don't retreat from the issues I'm having or that pain in my leg that just won't go away. Instead, I'm acknowledging that it's all a part of my reality, that it's a part of me, even when I don't particularly like it that much. Now, this may sound easy, but it's particularly difficult. I bet if I was to poll the room, I'd find out that at least one of you out there somewhere has had wandering thoughts during the service today. And I bet that at least one of you didn't notice you had wandering thoughts until I said something about it just now. I'm aware that even as I was writing this sermon, my mind is so distracted by many things. Church business, my dog lying next to me telling me I don't really need to be doing this right now. Everything I need to get done before I go to General Assembly next week. And of course, that eternal distractor, the cell phone. Conventional wisdom says I need to refocus to figure out what is important and what I must do right now. And perhaps that's part of what I need to do. But what would it look like if I took a moment to acknowledge how distracted I am right now and own that as a part of my current reality before I get back to work? I think that's why I love our first reading from Alice Shirey this morning, because in all the mundane, ordinary things happening in her day-to-day life, she's able to see them as a gift just by paying attention to them. What if our phone going off constantly was a gift because we are able to pay attention to it? What if next time someone forgot to set their phone to worship mode, we viewed that as a reminder that we are still here, that life is still now, She says that these ordinary moments are imbued with a sense of the holy, not because paying attention truly changes them, but because being a part of what we're paying attention to, they become part of the sacred whole of our daily experiences. A reminder that, in the words of singer-songwriter Peter Mayer, everything is holy now. The Vietnamese Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh was fond of helping his students connect through the ordinary and mundane. Now, this man who was once nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize and gained the admiration of people such as Martin Luther King and the Dalai Lama, you would expect that he would have these grandiose ways of teaching his students, telling them to go sit on the pillow for hours, ignore that pain in your back. But he often advised his novice practitioners to practice meditating on ordinary chores such as dishwashing, which are often done as quickly as possible to get them done, since for so many people, myself included, it's simply a monotonous chore to get over, so I can move over to the things I want to be doing more. But by really paying attention to what I'm doing, dishwashing can be a reminder that everything is in the now. The smell of the suds, the feel of them on your hands, the warm water, the frustration as a caked-on bit of food takes a bit more effort to get off. The first time I preached on that, by the way, I was surprised how many people, particularly men in the receiving line, told me that they now understood why they like washing dishes so much. Maybe each of us, myself included, need to forget about the idea of enlightenment as a place where we get to, where we're liberated from the concerns of the everyday, and instead see true enlightenment as a way of connecting with the reality of our lives. Because until I can find the freedom in the present to simply be with whatever is here, how can I know how to deal with the past and the future in a way that creates true liberation? There is freedom in this. When I can be with whatever is going on, I am not worried about the past or the future, or about whether I'll be good enough or have time enough for numerous other things, or about whether I'm going to be able to catch my plane or make the deadline. It's not that other things don't matter, or that I can't have dreams or plans for the future, but it's acknowledging everything going on in my life, including those aspirations of what might be. For me, it helps me to be a more well-rounded person, to be at peace with everything that's happening in my life. When I'm successful at being present in the moment, at finding the sense of freedom, I'm not busy exerting a lot of energy, trying to repress the things I don't like, and I'm able to simply be. And maybe that's the true meaning of freedom. To just be completely in the now with whatever comes up, not denying or ignoring it, but simply giving it the level of attention it needs in order to feel acknowledged, which frees me up to take any action I need to as a result. I wonder, what would it mean for your life to be more aware of everything present to you? I'm not perfect at it. That's part of why I say, forget about enlightenment, as it says in our second reading this morning, and just try living with your completely imperfect but sacred selves that have so much seeking to be heard. It doesn't have to be perfect to bring a sense of peace to your life. I know that there are many times, including in the writing of this sermon, I've failed to name many distractions. I'm convinced, though, that if we could just take some time to look, it would be possible to find heaven. Maybe not in every one of our moments. I don't want to go that far. But in many of them. May it be so.
We extinguish this flame, but not our commitment to welcome radically, love boldly, grow spiritually, and serve courageously. This we do because we envision a beloved community filled with compassion, helping all to thrive in a just world. I would like to invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, hymn number 9 in the gray hymnal, No Longer Forward Nor Behind.
No longer forward nor behind I look in hope or fear, but grateful take the good I find, the best of now and here. I break my pilgrim staff, I lay aside the toiling gore. The angels sought so far away, I welcome at my door. For all the jarring notes of life seem blending in a psalm, but all the angles of its strife slow rounding into calm, and so the shadows fall apart, and so the west winds play, and all the windows of my heart I open the day. Actually, Reverend Chris, I'd like to thank my band Citrus for doing today's service. We got Bryce on drums over there. We got Eric on bass. We got Caleb on guitar. You're going to hear a little musical introduction from them too as we get to the solo section of this song, but...
So after I say go in peace, I'm going to invite you to not go in peace yet, but to be seated for one more postlude. But before I do that, I want to just take a moment and say that for those of you who didn't realize, today is the end of my second year of service with this congregation. I'm going off in just a few hours. Yes, I will be leaving directly after the service because I have a flight to catch to Baltimore to represent Horizon at General Assembly. And for anyone wondering how it's going, I can't wait for year 3 to begin. Thank you all for an amazing first 2 years. And I truly could not have done it without you. Our benediction is by Eric Williams. My friends, may the spirit of love be a living flame before you, a guiding star above you, a firm path below you, and a gentle presence behind you. We take the fire within us and share it with others as we go. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.
Please pretend like you care. Seems like nobody's there. Imitation just ain't fair. Wherever you'll be, you meet your maker. Thank you guys for having us. Happy Pride Month.